Hi, it's Mrs. Eretz, and from room 6 now, not room 8, we've moved into the bigger room up in the front of the hall. So we're very excited about all the space that we now have. This month we've been talking about Hanukkah. We started out with Hanukkah because it started on Thanksgiving, and we had fun with some science with Hanukkah. We did how oil and water and how they don't mix, and we started with solvents about how a red dye will dissolve into the water and mix in totally with the water and how the oil doesn't mix in. We also talked about how light and shadows work, how light travels in a straight line, and we talked about reflection when we reflected the light to make it move in the direction that we want to use to move it in with mirrors. And then we talked about shadows, and you made fun little shadow puppets that they had a lot of fun with, shining light behind and seeing how the shadow was created with light. We played dreidel for math concepts. It introduced the concept of half, and it also reinforced whole, all and none for kindergarten. So it's a fun little game that they're playing, which incorporates some of the math concepts we use. For comprehension in reading this month, we were talking about how we relate to characters inside of stories, and one of the stories that we talked about was Too Many Toys. And it's about a little boy who has way too many toys where his parents are tripping over them constantly, and they try to get him to give up some of his toys to make room. And we talked about how things that we might have too much at home of, and how what we could do with toys that we don't use anymore. And then we moved on to a writing project where if we could give anything that we wanted to anybody who needed it, what would we give? So some of the children were saying they would give homes to people who don't have homes, or hugs to people who needed love. So it made us think a little more outside of our own little environment. For social studies, we're talking about the 7 continents. And inside the 7 continents, we're learning about some of the traditions that are happening around the world right now. So one of the things that they're going to hear is the story of the legend of the poinsettia. We've done 2 of these stories already. By Tommy DePaulo when we did our Native American unit. Now we're going to talk about Mexico and one of the traditions that they have down in Mexico for the holiday season. We're looking at maps, and we're looking at Google Earth to see how the continents and where they are and how they relate to each other. And it goes along with our monthly project because we're talking about where our families come from, which tied into last month's project. And looking forward to our feast that we're going to have on Friday for our multicultural festival. We're going to end with looking at some of the traditions for Christmas and for talking about the different things that are going on in the world right now. Our sing-along will be Tuesday at 1 o'clock, and don't forget about Pajama Day and Cookie Day. Don't forget your cookies for Wednesday. And in January, we're going to look at some things that happen in winter, and we're going to talk about mittens and hats and some fun stories that go along with that. And of course, Martin Luther King and equality, a very important subject that they need to talk about this time of year. So I look forward to seeing everyone in January. Bye.